Hello and welcome to another episode of the Stalktober special event of the Heart of the Jakuls. I'm your ever-prepared host, Lothran, and there's still so very much work to be done. So why don't we just mine right to the source of it? Run and fetch a quick bite to eat. Take the best spot there is. Get all warm and cozy and pay close attention to warmth. If I could just burn something, maybe the plant oil. No, I need that. I need that for power. Power the emergency light. Maybe just a little. No, I don't know how many times I'll need the power of the light. If I start now, who knows when I'll stop. So cold, it's so cold. Callan walked in the same frost-barren rut he'd been wearing into the cold metal for the past few days. Everyone else is gone. I drew the short stick. Had to stay. They took most of the supplies. I'm so cold, so very cold. Callan forced his lungs to breathe in and out. It was difficult to do more than the most basic tasks. He knew he was in some serious trouble here. He retreated back to his tiny teepee. The bottom a pile of towels that never felt as if they were dry or warm. The sides constructed of many thin sheets of plastic. He opened up a can and shoved food into his mouth, feeling oh so cavernously empty in his stomach, pulling the food out with his fingers and wiping them off on his legs. Hyperventilating the entire time. He almost began to feel warm. Odd. The research station had been without heat for like a year. Colin could remember the heated, hateful fighting that came from 7 or was it 8 people trapped in so small and so frigid a container where the cold was in every moment, every thought, every word. This cold seeped in and locked people into this mindless, needful, terrible longing for anything but where they were or what they were experiencing. He despised those meaningless garbage nonsense arguments, but now, just for a distraction, he longed for Remy to turn on him and blast his face with a hot stench-ridden, rotten breath of hers. Anything to make the time burn faster. Even a glance at her ugly, misshapen nose. Oh, he hated her, and the hate was fire, and he felt it in him. The storm outside continued to hammer the outpost. The others were dead. There was no way beyond the barrier anymore. The supports had fallen, and now they were trapped here. They had huddled around their research for near a year, completing their work, celebrating, and sending out a signal with the data that had been an error on their part. Command had been constantly feeding them daily reports and updates, setbacks and inventions, innovations to get the team free from their prison. The transmissions ceased the moment they handed over proof and the method. After that, they slowly realized that no one was working to reconnect the transmission. No one was working to reopen the gate. No one would ever come for them. Their purpose was fulfilled. No one needed them anymore. Aldor had taken the experiment and run off with it. Fucking asshole. Leaving a scribbled raving note. Who knows what happened to him? Bren went after him. Our 2 best leaders gone. Callan could barely think anymore. The cold penetrated his mind so heavily. Only cold and dark and raging storm to slowly grind upon the mind of all the others left in the facility. Then the fighting began. Fighting about clothes, fighting about food, fighting about using keepsakes for fuel, fighting over who ate what food and when. After Daith turned up dead and frozen outside, trust went right out the window. Friendships were gone at that discovery. Everyone was a suspect. It was clear he'd been killed about something. A struggle, and then several deep stabbing wounds to his chest. No blood was found inside the complex. So they'd left him out there and preserved the meat, they all agreed, until things got that dire. But then his body had vanished. Was that banging? Callan got up from his cross-legged position. It was banging, wasn't it? Had someone returned? Callan wandered through the empty, sparse halls. All the furniture had been burned long ago. All the cloth burned or eaten. Cetra had gone on a strange binge at the start of the second year. She was the only one he even missed. Odd how they never got along. And strange, they'd not even really spoken, yet he missed her. Maybe since he'd found her trapped in the vents, looking all calm, if a little haggard, peaceful, if a little too worn, her stomach bloated by the pile of cotton cloths. The master, or Othral, was that his? Colin found it so hard to think. The cold sapping his thoughts again. He had to focus. You have to focus. It's so cold. Just pretend to be warm. Make it work. And there'd been enough in her stomach to suit up several people from head to toe. Now wrecked. And then Master Othral had taken the easy way out. An entire bottle of pills just a day later. The last of their supply. Asshole. For some reason, Callan just couldn't do it. He couldn't slit his own wrists. He couldn't put the gun against his head. There was still a few rounds. The banging became more insistent. I'm coming, hold on to your fears already. Inconsiderate shit. There's a whole network of base to wind through. He has to be banging like I'm on the other side of the moon or something. The person outside just kept smashing away even as Callan got to the door. He held his hand at bay after he witnessed what was before him. A plant. Its creeping vine wriggling through the crack in the door. On it, a head. Dead as the door slammed shut. The wind knocking it back and forth for how loose it was upon the vine. Just a head. The vine spreading out down from the neck that sprouted from them. Callan couldn't move, paralyzed with fear. A vine snarled itself around his leg. Suddenly he found the will to move again, the empty-eyed stare of Aldor, and a smiling maw of a fully split and smashed jaw, bloody and trickling splatters of black, cooling blood upon the floor of the opening. The door finally smashed open, with a broken-bodied Bren lurching into the complex. Warmth. His lungs echoed hollow as the twisted mass of flailing vines and roots fell upon Callan's captured legs. And suddenly he had the strength again, the resolve. He scrambled through his coat pocket for the gun or the knife. But all too soon his arms were not his own, and they too began to welcome the embrace of the winding vines up into his skull. He wanted to shout, he wanted to scream, but all he could feel or do was the welcoming embrace of the blessed heat pulling him into it. And so it is, we have once again come to the extent of our time together. I enjoyed it immensely, and I hope you all have as well. This has been Warmth, another tale straight from the heart of the Jakuls. As always, I have been your organized host, Lothran, and now, unfortunately, I must hand you off to Korvoth, so he can guide you back along the safe path. Go ahead, young Jakul, lead them out.
Hello and good night to each and all. Please leave your comments, questions, and kindnesses down below. None of that awful, rude, or mean stuff, though. You keep that to yourself. Remember to like and share and subscribe to help us learn and spread and grow. And we strongly implore each and every one of you to do your utmost to stay safe out there. Goodbye, everybody. Good night and good luck. Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.